5 tips on eBay that I've learned over 8 years that you should know. Old Bob 10025 here about eBay and 5 little tips. Just give a general description. I've been selling to eBay for about 8 years as a power seller. Well, actually 4 years as a power seller, 4 years to get to know everything, and with a 100% feedback score, just give you some idea of who I am. Shipping on time. This is one of the things that a seller should do, period. You automatically ship one day after. Even if you can actually do it that day or the next day. Do not ship 2 days, do not ship 3 days or a week later, because you want to make your customer happy. Once you make your customer happy, they give you what's called a detailed seller rating. That's one of the most important things for a seller to go keep it as high as possible, up to 5.0. Once you get down to 4.8, then you start having problems. You can't sell as many items, and your score goes down from there. You want to make sure you ship the next day or that day if you can. It makes the customer happy, and basically it gets there quicker. You have better feedback when you go and have this done. Item description. This is one of the other most important things you can do. Detail everything you can about an item, scratches, books missing, whatever it is. You want to make sure you go ahead and detail that item. Put in a description, even if you had little tiny scratches on the bottom, no matter what it is. I can't tell you how many times that, being a power seller like I am, I had people complain about something. They saw something on the book that I sold. I normally sell books, so most of my things are actually kind of the spine is creased a little bit, or that kind of stuff. So many times a buyer would actually go ahead and say, hey, this has a scratch here, this little leaf is done basically like folded over, and you have to get this, you have to go and describe these inside your description. If not, the buyer actually goes ahead and does the item not as described, and then you lose money, because eBay set up for the buyer, not the seller, to go and protect them. So you have to make sure everything you do for the description is done. Everything. I don't care what it is, how small it is. You got to make sure this is done. Being books, like I said, I have to make sure, look inside the books, make sure no names are inside the books, make sure there's no marks inside the books. So go through every single page that you can. It might take some time, but this will save you a hassle in the long run. Ship like you can drop kick it. Make sure you can actually take your package and drop kick your package and nothing will happen to it. Best way to do this is with a box. Make sure you pop your stuff in a box, bubble wrap it, make sure that you can drop kick it and nothing will happen to it. A lot of times when you ship stuff, it's done through UPS or USPS, which are the major shippers throughout the country, throughout the US. So and they drop it, they put stuff on top of it, they step on it, no matter what it is. Make sure that you're able to go ahead and have that survive going to the customer. That's one of the most important things you can do. If you think it's gonna have any problems, you make sure you go ahead and fix those problems for later on. If you're shipping fragile stuff, make sure you bubble wrap the stuff as much as possible. You can get bubble wrap through the stores, through like Rayleigh's or like Best Buy, like anywhere you want to. They'll be more than happy to get you bubble wrap for free, and basically you don't have to spend like money for it. As far as boxes, go to any type of retailer, Target, Walmart, like whatever. They'll be more than happy to give you any type of boxes that you can want. I mean, I have billions of boxes myself, and that's what you need. Know your product. Know what you are selling on eBay. That way, in case a customer does actually want to know anything about it, you could actually automatically go ahead and tell him what his question is. So many times, and know what you're researching too. When you're doing your product, when you're putting up your items, make sure you know what you're doing. I sell mostly game books. I like Dungeons and Dragons and Paranoia, Star Wars books and all that kind of stuff. I've been playing games for 30 years, so I know my product. I know what's rare, what's not, what type of like edition is. That way you know what you're talking about. So many times I got books. I mean, there are some times I got books and I didn't know what edition it was, so I had to do a lot of research. It took me forever to do that research. So know what you're putting up. If you're selling dishes, know what type of dish it is. Know what type of like who made the dish. Like if you're selling pottery, plants, like whatever you're selling, just know what you're talking about. The most important thing you want to get across to your customers is go ahead and you know what you're talking about. Auctions, fixed price, or buy it now. I would recommend for new sellers to not do auctions whatsoever. It's a pain in the butt. One of the things that happens is you sell the item, they bid it, and then they win, and then you don't hear anything from them. That happens to maybe about 30 to 40% of the buyers. Something happens, their mother goes in the hospital, their car broke down, they don't have the money in the bank, or whatever. What I recommend for new sellers or even for normal sellers right now, I only do fixed price items because I don't have to deal with the hassle of everything going down like that. I'd have to wait for money. I don't have to go and give an unpaid item strike on them. I don't have to do anything like that. I have required immediate payment. If they want the item, they purchase it, boom, they get it, and then I ship it next day. As I explained like before, that's the main thing one of the new sellers should do, and even normal sellers. It's a lot easier to do. It saves you a lot of hassle and time, because if they don't purchase it over 7 days, then what happens is you send a, hey, what's going on? Then they have 7 days to respond, and if they don't respond, then you can give them a unpaid item strike. But if you give them unpaid item strike, they can give you negative feedback. So the whole thing is just not to even deal with it. That's what I would recommend myself. As far as fixed price, you have it for 20 bucks. They buy it and require immediate payment, which is under which when you do your item, when you sell your item, when you have it online, when you start listing your item, it has a little check mark next to the PayPal, and it says require immediate payment. If they want it, boom, they got it. You ship it next day. No hassles, no fuss, no muss.